game theory haven't been very much applied within Go. Nevertheless, they're very good analyzing M-games. Combinatorial game theory is a branch of mathematics. It was found, the first papers that I'm aware of, there was a paper by Von Milner in 1953, and then John Horton Conway came on the scene, and he developed it into really a branch of mathematics. And so these books are quite excellent and well worth your time if you happen to pick one up. I will mention that one of the hotbeds of Go development was the University of Alberta in Edmonton. Martin Muller was a postdoc in Berkeley working with Nolan Burlingham. He's a 6-dan Go player. And then anyway, he went to Edmonton and he founded a research group, and a lot of good stuff has come out of there. In particular, the AlphaGo developers came out of Edmonton. They went to England and developed AlphaGo, but they got their start in Edmonton, and many other developers came out of there. So now I'm going to talk about Monte Carlo methods. So the idea of Monte Carlo search would be that instead of searching a limited move tree, spending a lot of time evaluating the terminal nodes, maybe you just read all the way out to the end of the game. At that point, there's no issue of life or death. So you don't have to you don't have to waste time deciding whether a group is alive or dead, which, if you make a mistake, will invalidate your evaluation of the terminal node in the move tree. You just read it out to the end, and then everything is obvious. The dead stones can even be removed from the board. So you sort of play not completely randomly, but you use a pattern matcher that is tuned for speed, and then you make many trials, and from the data that you collect, maybe you can figure out the best move. So the origin of the algorithm which is used now is called UCT1, and it addresses the following problem. Suppose that you have a large number of slot machines, and and they might not all be equal. Maybe some of them pay better than others. You want to figure out which ones you should be playing. So you want to play the one that seems to be winning, but you don't want to neglect the other ones, because if you do, you might be missing one. Maybe you have a bad luck with one machine for a while, but it's actually better. So there's a deterministic strategy for doing this, which is called UCT1. You maximize the following function. So the first one, for J is the number of the machine, and I see I can't move the cursor's left hand. The first term is the average rate of payoff of this machine. And so clearly you should play the machine that gives you the best payoff. But the second factor decreases as you play a lot of, if you play that machine a lot, it decreases slowly enough that you're also playing the other machines. So this is called UCT1. And it can also be applied to tree search. Now this was first done by these Hungarian guys, whose names I would probably mispronounce. They were not interested in Go programming as far as I know, but they adapted the UCT algorithm to tree search. And then Sylvain Joly was, in his dissertation, applied this to Go, and this became a Renaissance thing. I see there's a sentence that's missing here. His dissertation also used reinforcement learning, which is a key principle in training neural nets. And then he went on to author a Go program called Mogo, and Mogo had some success. So in 2008, Mogo played a game with Myung-Hwan Kim, who is a 9-dan professional. If you watched the videos of the AlphaGo match, there were 2 sets. One was commentated by Michael Redmond and Chris Garlick, but the one to watch was commentated by Myung-Hwan Kim. He's a professional Go player. He's a 9-dan, which means he has the highest rank that you can get, but he's still not quite at the top. He's not as strong as Lee Sedol, for example. He lives in Los Angeles and he teaches, he lost by 1.5 points. He lost the 9-stone game to Mogo. 9-stone is a big handicap, so you can see from that statement how far we've come since 2008. And then just 3 years ago, a couple of Monte Carlo programs, Zen, which is offered in Japan, and Crazy Stone, which is offered in France, defeated a couple of the former world champions, Masaki Takamiya and Yoshiro Ishida. Both were at the top of the Go scene, in the 1970s, and so although they're like my age or something, they're still considered top players. And at that point, it seemed, and in fact, just until a year ago, it seemed that the top programs were 4 stones weaker than the top professionals. A 4-stone handicap is a big handicap, but it's not so big that this wasn't impressive. It was very impressive. But nobody was prepared for the recent developments. Neural nets have had amazing success in the last 5 years in all sorts of things, such as image recognition and medical diagnostics and the key to this have been faster processors, particularly the use of TPUs, which were designed originally to display computer graphics, but were repurposed for training and evaluating neural nets. So there's if I can give you a demonstration. So this is a neural net which actually is written in JavaScript. It actually plays in the browser. So this is by some guys in Edmonton, Edinburgh, in Scotland. So this neural net has very good intuition. It plays quite well. And if you play with it, you'll be surprised at how well it plays. Given the fact that it's not doing any reading, in order to defeat it, you should start a fight and make some trouble, and then it starts making mistakes. But in terms of playing the opening and developing influence and everything, it plays just amazingly well. It's written in JavaScript. You can go to GitHub and get the source code if you want to see it. So neural nets do a much better way of pattern recognition than you saw with Kinugo. What did we do with Kinugo? We had handwritten programs, handwritten patterns that were written by humans. If a pattern is missing, then you have to code it by hand. In this case, what they did, and in the case of AlphaGo, what they did is that they trained the neural net by playing a lot of replaying a lot of professional games that they that have been archived. And in the case of AlphaGo, they did something else, which is they allowed the machine to play itself, and they used reinforcement learning in order to tune the neural net. So neural nets are quite amazing. They're also kind of scary. I mentioned some of the intangible things that are part of the art of playing Go. Vital points and facilities are key points in a position. So you want to occupy the vital point. The relevant intuition is called shape, that you try to have good shape, but not only that, but timing is very important because you need to play the moves in exactly the right sequence. In certain situations, if you play things in the wrong order, then there will be a refutation. So it's a very delicate. The neural nets are, and also I mentioned thickness and decisions to sacrifice stones in order to gain thickness. These are all intangible things, but the neural nets are often able to find the right move. For example, the neural net that I just showed you, and obviously the ones that are used by AlphaGo. I should mention that Facebook also has a program which, as far as I know, has a similar architecture to AlphaGo and is, perhaps a little bit behind AlphaGo. It plays on the KTS server. It was quite remarkable to see how fast it improved. And I think if AlphaGo hadn't come on the scene, then maybe Dark Forest would have taken its place. So the AlphaGo architecture is discussed in a Nature article. They have two neural networks. They have a slow policy network. This is good at choosing the moves. The rollout policy is not so good at finding the right moves, but it's very fast. And so for the Monte Carlo method, you want to play the game out into the perhaps to the end. And so you need two different styles of play there. So they have two neural nets. These were trained by self-play. And if you want more information, you can find the Nature article. So I guess we have a few minutes. So I could look at some of the AlphaGo games, and I also have Lee Sedol is arguably the strongest player. There's a young Chinese guy who thinks he's stronger because he defeated Lee Sedol more in tournament play. But Lee Sedol has been at the top for 10 years, and he's right in his prime. But these games were played very well by Lee Sedol. He didn't make mistakes. What happened was that things happened that would not be considered a mistake by human standards. He wasn't prepared for AlphaGo because AlphaGo played some games in October against Fan Hui, who was maybe the strongest player in Europe. He's a professional Shudan, and AlphaGo won all those games, but they were not. This is typical of the Monte Carlo programs, is that it's very easy to underestimate them because they know if they're ahead. And you may not, a position may seem evil even to a human observer or player, but the Monte Carlo program has a better sense than you do of whether it's ahead or not. So it may play very cautiously, and the play may therefore not be impressive. So Lee Sedol didn't know how strong AlphaGo was, and he played an unusual move right at the beginning. This move is not a standard opening move. Probably his reasoning was that he thought that maybe AlphaGo had a book, and the problem is to get out of the book. So you play a move that's a little bit non-standard, and AlphaGo cooperated by letting black build up his side. So now black has to play lightly on the top to settle things, but Lisa Dahl is good at that. This move is probably an overplay, and he might not have played it if he had realized at this point how strong AlphaGo was. So AlphaGo did this, and this move is also black's chance to back off, but he did back off. And now these black stones are cut off. That's okay. Lisa Dahl is perfectly capable of making life. Now white has been cut into 3 parts, and although black stones here are kind of in trouble, these stones are now perhaps settled, but these stones are potentially in trouble, and black can use that in order to make life. So after black does this, white has to go back to the 10, and black goes here, and at this point, to somebody like me, it might look as if black has some danger, that the black stones still could die. But in fact, there's just enough potential in the situation that black can live. But white has gained some power on the left-hand side, and after this, neither player really made any mistakes, and when the smoke cleared at the end of the game, black, Lisa Dahl, has made some territory down here, but white is getting territory on the top. And here, AlphaGo plays some moves that people would not think of. So this is a very surprising and unusual move, but it's okay. And AlphaGo knows exactly how much it needs in order to win. Look, it does. It has to invade on the right-hand side. But this invasion is kind of non-obvious, and I believe that Lisa Dahl was taken by surprise. There was a lot of... okay, so white, AlphaGo, has succeeded in catching some stones up here, and also living in this corner down here, and also taking a large territory here. And although it's given up some territory here, it knows exactly that it's ahead. And after a little while, Lisa Dahl gave up. People tended, after a while, people tended to anthropomorphize AlphaGo. Maybe I'll show you a video of Myung-Whun Kim. I mentioned him, he was the one that played Mogo. He always referred to AlphaGo in female, so she did this or she did that. And his commentaries are very good. The 4th game was the one that Lisa Dahl won by playing a brilliant move. Let's see. In game color, AlphaGo slowly got an advantage. Lisa Dahl is white. He more or less made some forcing moves, and the rule in Go is the forcing moves can be thought of as being white. If you can give them up, if you make forcing moves, you give them up. So he's not committed to saving these white stones here. They were played as forcing moves, but nevertheless, AlphaGo seems to have captured them. And although white, Lisa Dahl has gone in compensation there, it looks as if he's behind at this point. So Lisa Dahl played a brilliant sequence. At this point, he fought for about half an hour before he played this move. And he didn't have that much time on his clock. By the time the sequence was over, he was very short on time. and then he played this move. This move is a move that I would not think of